Hi, this is Jan of the Jan Files. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel or Substack, wherever you found me. I want to also make sure that I highlight, cheer the peeps at Blue Sky that have been absolutely supporting me, absolutely sharing, subscribing, liking. What a community. If you're not on Blue Sky, you should be. But I'm going to focus on the Manosphere. And why am I going to do that? Well, I actually made a video the other day that really focused on the Tate brothers, and Trump, and Zampolli. So I'm going to do a little bit of that, bring some of that back in, but I'm also going to look at a bigger picture. So the Manosphere supposedly is got four groups of people in, four groups of men in. Incels, which are involuntary celibates, pickup artists, which are PUAs, MRAs, which are men's rights activists, and MGTOWS, men going their own way. Now, this is straight men, right? Just FYI. This is not about gay men or any other kind, gender. It's not. It's about straight men, period. And their basically inability to process the world as it is. They have either not been educated to where they could go out and get a good job, or they just have, maybe they work, but they don't have any relationship with women because they don't know how to have a relationship with women. And what initially, starts out as supposedly a positive thing, and it's called red pilling, where they lure these guys in, like the Tates used to actually have a university that they brought these guys into. And I think it was called Hustler University. If I'm wrong, I'll put it in the text at the bottom. But anyway, they what they did is they groomed these. They said, okay, look, you're not feeling good. What helps you feel good? You work out, you get strong, you get pumped up. And then we're going to focus you on wellness and supplements and doing what you need to do to maintain your strength. We're going to then start to groom you in this pattern of how did you get here? How do you get out of here in terms of where are you with your feelings, etc. But they're not interested whether you're sad, whether you're feeling lack of focus or anything. They're only interested in taking whatever emotions you are feeling and turning it into anger. Being upset is not okay. No, crying, forget it. You're a loser. You cry and you're a man. You're a man. Okay. And so who has been espousing all of this crap? So it's been the Tate brothers themselves, Andrew and Tristan. It has been people like Jordan Peterson, Elliot Hulse, Royce White, who is a congressman, and so many others on social media. You know it. I know it. We all see it. These guys are buff and, they're the best and they're strong and they believe women should be home. Women shouldn't get paid as much as men because they don't have families to support. Women should not go to school because really their job in life is to have children and raise them. They also believe, many of them believe, that women shouldn't have the right to vote. And they are preaching a household vote, which is one person represents the household and they get to vote. So this is a really toxic movement. And they've lured these men in who are looking to find a way out of their feelings and where they are at that moment. And they get turned into these angry assholes that only blame women for where they are at. I want to, as always, I've done some homework, and I want to talk about some of the statistics and some of the other feelings and other thoughts that are behind this. But some of the thoughts behind this is that somehow there's been this secret that women have had, or secret society that has played on these men, that feminism has ruined masculinity, that feminism is responsible for all that has happened to them when nothing could be further from the truth. It's actually the opposite of that. But rather than to have those kind of conversation, often this behavior leads to violence because what they do is they trade in anger. They trade in blaming women, and that as a result, they want to control women. They don't believe women should have control over their own bodies. Have you heard the sentence, "Your body, my choice"? Yeah, that's really basically it. And so a lot of this kind of sentiment and building this up leads to where the Tate brothers are right now. The Tate brothers are sitting in Miami, and because they're supposed to be extradited to the UK, because they've been accused of rape, sexual trafficking, violence, abuse, both of them. And it's not just the UK where there are dozens and dozens of charges. It's also Romania. Now, let's go quickly to Romania because they were arrested there. They were in jail. They were put out on bail or bond or whatever they call it there. And as a result, JD Vance went over to Romania and asked and had one of his, Philip Brunel, I don't remember the guy's name, so sorry. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Had one of his guys that went with him over there talk to the Romanians and get them to release the Tate brothers so that they could come to Florida, to Miami. Yes. Trump's administration orchestrated their release. JD Vance follows them. Baron Trump follows them and was in contact directly with Andrew Tate, whom he looks at as, I believe, and maybe this is a rumor, so anyway, a mentor. They spoke on the phone. And Barron supposedly is very concerned about the charges they're facing. Does anybody hear Epstein? Do you see Epstein in the background? Right? Here we've got two guys that have charged with actual crimes in two different countries. There is supposedly somebody looking at their crimes here. You can forget that. It'll never get done. The Justice Department won't do it. They support this kind of behavior, obviously, in their treatment of the Epstein files. Now, let's get really clear. I'm going to go a little more of the Tates, and then I'm going to go back to the kind of the bigger picture here. The Tate brothers were brought to Washington, D.C. prior to the weekend that they were held by the Miami because of the extradition treaty. They were taken by Paolo Zampolli. Remember Paolo Zampolli? Paolo Zampolli has known Trump and Melania for 30 years. He claims to be the one who introduced them, though other people said, no, it was Epstein. Anyway, he was part of Epstein's world, too. He started a company with Epstein, or Epstein invested into his modeling agency. He also had a nonprofit with Ghislaine Maxwell. He was absolutely part of that universe. He is now a global ambassador for the Trump administration. When he invited them, or they came to Washington, D.C. a couple weeks ago, he took them around. He took them to the Capitol where he introduced them to Congressman Wesley Hunt. He actually held a dinner for them at his Georgetown townhouse with 150 people. Now, these guys have been accused, okay? Everybody knows it. And now those accusations have not just Romania, but we also have the UK. And so rather than maybe stay the fuck away from other pedophiles and other sexual abusers, Paolo Zampolli says, hey, let's celebrate them. He is a global ambassador for the Trump administration. So that should be like blasted out all over the place, because that is fucking unbelievable. This is like Epstein happening all over again, and everybody's sitting with their hands up their asses and doing and saying nothing. This is a direct parallel in terms of how we take seriously the complaints, the accusations of rape, sexual traffic, and abuse in this country. They have been accused of the exact same things that Epstein was accused of. And I mean, obviously there are differences, so don't go back to me, well, they did that. Basically, these men are abusers of women. And the fact is that JD Vance helped them come to the United States. The fact is that Paolo Zampolli, as part of the Trump administration, celebrated their coming to DC, however you want to look at that. And so here we are. And the bottom line of all this fucking shit is women. How women are treated and how we're discarded and how we're not taken seriously and how many men want to control us, because that is absolutely the line that goes from all of this, from the Manosphere bullshit, the Tates, to Epstein, to Trump, and all of the Republicans who don't want to deal with it. And so the reality is, women, I'm talking to you, and men who understand this, is we need to keep talking about this, because I'm done. These men have been groomed in the Manosphere. They come in, they get told to work out and do all this crap to become better. And then they're changed and focused so that they start becoming more angry, more violent. And these men have caused violence. I mean, there's no doubt that they have shot women up and, et cetera, et cetera. They literally believe, what was the saying that Nick Fuente said? Your body, my choice. Think about that. And then we have the trad wives who are participating in all this bullshit, wanting to stay at home, just have babies. I don't have to vote. I think I'm okay with having one vote in the household. What? What the fuck? I don't care if you want to stay home and have babies. It's your life. But don't start saying this is how to be a woman. This is how women should live. No, we can do anything we want. We should be able to make the same amount of money as men. We should have the same rights to bodily autonomy as men. They literally say, we want to control women. And this should not be acceptable on any level. And the fact is that there is a fucking attorney out there. I saw him quoted, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, saying the Tate's attorney was upset because how they were going to be treated in jail because they are accused rapists and sex traffickers. Like they should get some sort of dispensation, like they should be treated like Ghislaine Maxwell, maybe? I mean, this is horrifying. This should horrify every fucking person that has half a fucking brain. Because this is about diminishing women. This is about putting us in unsafe places. This is about accepting the violence against us. And I'm not going to stand the fuck by and say nothing. And neither should you. Because this is so much like Epstein and the parallels of how women are treated, etc., and that people don't want to deal with it. Again, it's the same thing. Don't want to deal with Epstein. Don't want to deal with, these problems that women are having or whatever. No, we don't want to hear it. We just want to ignore it. We're just going to go on. We're going to try to bury it just like we fucking did with the Epstein files. So, you hearing this? Now, here's the fucking irony of it all. They blame feminism. They blame that, it's been toxic to them, that feminism has destroyed male masculinity, when nothing could be further from the fucking. Because the whole point of feminism is that you can do what you want to do. You should be free. If you're a man, if you want to spend more time with your kids, that you should take the parental leave. Most men only take 2 weeks when there's a lot more available. Why? Because they're afraid. of how they're going to be perceived. Yet we know that when men spend more time with their children, they are happy. You know, this is facts, facts, folks. Okay, and I'm going to end my rant there. I think you really need to understand what works when it comes to helping men, doesn't work, and how the violence is connected to the grooming of all men.